Good day, everybody. I'm back. I'm feeling well enough to do some movement, and I'll probably do a little bit of physio exercises at the end as well. Today we'll do some Shorinji Kempo sequences, kind of attack and defense sequences, and then I'll do a couple Sool 1 patterns or sets, and then I don't know what I'll do after that. So the Shorinji Kempo main posture Chudan Kamai. Shorinji Kempo is a fairly modern martial arts, like after World War II. That's kind of how they decided, was it pre-war martial arts or after? And Shorinji Kempo is a post-war Gendai Budo after-war martial arts. So instead of like the deep stances usually from karate, Shorinji Kempo takes a higher stance and different postures. So their Chudan Kamai, their middle level posture is like this. It's pretty similar to boxing, only I think boxing might be a little more like this. But so bringing that one arm down, and you have the Chudan Kamai from Shorinji Kempo, but they're still guarding the ribs. They don't have things like karate. Karate would be here, so Shorinji Kempo, they are bringing the arms up a bit for some of their postures. One of their posture, they have the hand down. I think that's just for someone to grab, and then they do like a counter grab or something like that. But for their goho or their hard style, this is their main posture that they start from. So I am slowly going through this, and I'm slowly does a little bit of footwork because they do a lot of footwork and evasions, kind of like boxing. So it's like a Japanese boxing. They've taken Western boxing or made a martial arts, made an Eastern martial art out of Western boxing. So the first basic sequence, someone's coming in with a punch, and someone's coming in a punch, and you're going off to the side. Just because they're not just gonna stand there like karate. Karate would like stand there and block and punch on a straight line, block and punch on a straight line, or block and punch with karate. Shorinji Kempo, though, taking a step off to the side, and they're still doing kind of like that outer block, only they don't use their fist, they have an open hand, and they're parrying it off to the side instead of like a karate or perhaps kung fu. So you can go for half an hour just to get my Ko-fi page automatically linked up. So I'm the attacker, and the attacker's stepping in and punching with the same leg, right leg with the defender is stepping off that line of attack and counter punching. Let's see if I got that right. The Shorinji Kempo is not my first now. I did try and get a Shorinji Kempo is not my first or a martial art that I practiced with a teacher. So, okay, yeah. So instead of like this, it's actually more like that, not like that. But I imagine you could do that as well, but just to follow the way they're doing it. So their block, the middle level block as well with an open palm. And it's important to note, so you can see the little square, how he's moving off of that line. Moving off of that line, and they punch with a vertical fist. So I'm going to see if that's a straight 1-2. They try and make things fluid so it's not really blocky like karate, but I think in this case they actually do kind of make a 1-2 motion out of it. Stepping in off to the side, 1, 2, because they want to step in and off to the side. Otherwise, you just stood here. The block may go through, but then you're too far away from an effective counter without overreaching yourself, and they don't overreach themselves. So just get that blocking pattern down first, and then countering to the body. It looks like from the side. And then my counter. And the heel back foot is lifted. So karate usually likes to keep things flat-footed, but Shorinji Kempo, for ease of movement, does it that way. So a few more times. And as fluid as possible, so the punch comes in, boom, boom, counter quickly like that. Let's go to the next sequence. So that's coming off the outside of their punching hand in that sequence. Moving on to the next sequence. Just looks like more of the same, knocking it out of the way. Okay. Not so much of a new sequence, but kind of a continuation. Looks like when the guy does a 1-2 punch. The guy does a 1-2 punch. The first punch hits, and then they're stepping back and guarding themselves. If that second punch comes in, they're retreating after that. First counter off, 1-2, and then stepping back. This is one of their kamai's, taiki kamai. Sorry if I'm butchering. I'm not butchering the pronunciation, but that's pretty much what that covering position is, because it's not an active block. And he's kind of leaning back, and that is, they do kind of, right there you can see the old guy is leaning back. So I'm changing the foot. So once again, punch comes in, it's countered, blocked, countered, and then he's stepping back with the same foot. Something like that. So let's move on to the next sequence. punch comes in. So instead of going from the outside this time, okay, just make sure that foot works right. So now it's the block from the other direction off the other foot. So the first one was one side. Now this punch comes in, and so the first one was, sorry, knocking it off. The other side, this other one is knocking it around with the other arm. And I think it's a hook punch counter that they're doing. Okay, it looks like the pictures are out of sequence. It's really weird. Right hand blocks. And then it's a 1-2. Okay. Looks like it's a 1-2. So. So first one, boom, boom. The second one, boom. So we want to kind of do that counter punch at the same time, and then two to follow up. Boom, boom. And at the same time, smooth it out a little bit. So, boom, boom. So the other one is boom, boom. And they usually keep the guard up. They don't, not like karate where boom, boom, and they have this part's unguarded. So number one, number two. The other one's kind of, so this time instead of waiting for them to attack, you're kind of bringing their hand down, bringing their hand down and punching them the neck, or the neck. Could be the face, but it looks more like he's hitting the neck. You're kind of pulling that arm down, that lead arm down, and then counter punching to the neck. And again, okay, that's weird. So they're starting from this frame and then they're moving down here and then continuing down there. I don't know why they don't just 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Probably just to throw people off. Or maybe they're, no. The chain of movement seems to be in that way anyway, so. Yeah, you're pulling that lead hand down, and counter punching to. Looks more like he's more, well, it's showing the side of the chin, but it looks like in the video, it looks like he's actually punching him in the throat. So we'll do that a few times. So bringing that lead hand down and punching to the throat. So he's punching, the lead hand's being done, and he's getting it in the jaw or in the throat. And they call that Hangetsu. I don't know why, because Hangetsu was half moon. Maybe the motions describe a half moon or something. So once again, and from the side, number 1, outer block, counter punch. Number 2, inner block, punch, punch. Number 3, pulling that arm down, that leading arm down, and punching to the neck or the head. One more time. Number 1, stepping off to the side, counter block, punch. Number 2, inside block, punch, punch. Number 3, pulling that hand down and punching to the throat. Do that a few more times. And now, I think there's one where the kick is coming in. And you're countering with a side kick, but they also do counters, front kick, lead leg front kick, because I don't know if that would work. It would take too long. They call the rear leg kick Gyaku Gary, or reverse kick, whereas they call the front leg kick Jun Gary. But yeah, it would make more sense in that sense if you were kicking off the lead leg after doing that counter. You want a nice quick block parry, and they're kicking to the pelvis. Usually they're wearing like a modified kendo armor, so that's where they're hitting to on the body. So that person's not higher up on the chest, but around the belly or the pelvis. So now I'll do some Korean empty-handed forms. Just being careful with my knee. Really warm out today. How much time do we have before my 7 or 8 more minutes? It's pretty warm. I'm gonna just roll my body out, my lower back, feeling it in my chi bands and lower back again. A little bit more on my left butt cheek because that's what's really stiff. Reset the position of the foam roller. And I just close it off with some physio then. So let me just, okay. Since 1985, thanks for joining today. So yeah, that's judo was the first thing that I ever did. First formal martial art that I ever did. That's because it was relatively inexpensive and it was at our high school gym. I think one of the teachers or two of the teachers was running the club, but Mr. Hauserman, he ended up because sometimes heavy judo practice can mess up your knees, and that's what happened to him. He had to stop practicing because his knees were all messed up from judo. But judo, yeah, that was it. So one of my physio exercises, I'm in a shoulder width thing. I'm sticking my butt out, and I want to be kind of on my knife edge, my soku toe or my foot, sort of the same position that you do side kick, and I'm doing squats just to track the knee properly. And I want that butt sticking out. That's the physiotherapist was very adamant about that, sticking that butt out. Otherwise, it'd just be like leaning forward, but no, it's got to be almost as if I imagine if I was skiing or something like that, just so that left knee is tracking properly. few more. Then the 90s when the first UFC came out doing Shotokan, but I only did that for like a couple of months. I didn't even get graded in that. So in about 30 seconds, we're going to have my Ko-fi link, everybody. If you do like what you see, by all means, please support the channel. So yeah, Shorinji Kempo is a lot more upright, kind of like Uechi Ryu or Ishin. More upright stances and counters and bobbing and weaving. So Shorinji Kempo, what they claimed to be their origin story was challenged in Japanese courts, but there's a good chance that maybe it was Uechi Ryu or Ishin Ryu mixed in with some jiu-jitsu, because like I said, they have the Goho, which is the hard style, much like karate, and the Juho, which is more like the Aiki jiu-jitsu. They're doing a lot of twisting, throwing, joint locks. They do pressure points. And there's my coffee link, everybody. So, I mean, it's romantic. It's neat, the idea of going back to the source of these, but a lot of those people have moved to North America, so you don't need to travel anymore. Maybe back in the 1980s and the 70s, and maybe even the 60s, because a lot of U.S. servicemen learned karate as soon as they got out of the army, or when they were even in the army, like the Korean War. Uh, where was I going with this? So, okay, yeah, before the 80s, you would have to travel to the source to get like better instruction right from the source. But then in the 1970s, you saw this influx of people coming from Korea, coming from Japan, coming from Okinawa, coming to North America and setting up shop. And you didn't have to travel to them because a lot of them came here. Like they were still in communication with their headquarters schools, but they were bringing their training that they got from the headquarters school to North America. So you don't need the student doesn't need to travel. And now with the advent of internet, you can be exposed, have exposure to all kinds of different martial arts that wouldn't have been possible in the 80s except through like a VHS tape. And even then, like VHS tapes and books, I'm pretty sure that they were giving you a watered down version of their arts. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, these days you can practically find a teacher, and it's shifted. I had a conversation with somebody about this. It shifted that whole teacher student dynamic. The reason I'm saying this is because in September, I'm going to be running a self-defense class, and I'm going to be like for about 8 or 10 sessions, depending on what the interest is. So I'm going to be teaching Hapkido, but I was talking with somebody who teaches another art, and they said like before it used to be the student went to the teacher, and it was up to the student to impress the teacher for the teacher in order to say, okay, you look like you have some skill, so now I'm going to start giving you the knowledge that I have. Whereas nowadays, the student goes to the teacher, and the teacher has to impress the student in order for them to train at their school. It's completely switched around now. Now, whether that's for better or for worse, but now that whole dichotomy, now it's okay, why should I train at your school instead of please let me train at your school? And the teacher kind of had that power dynamic of put the effort in. If I see improvement in you, if it's worth my time to teach you, I will. Or if I judge you to be of good character, then the teacher could choose. Whereas nowadays, uh, yeah, the buyer has the power. So, but that's about it for me for today. I'm still recuperating from my leg physiotherapy, lower back issues. So I did get out and move today. So if you do like what you see, please click on my Ko-fi link. Thank you for joining. If you On my Twitch channel, I do have like a suggestion board, so please feel free to give me comments or suggestions or critique. I know you're not going to be as mean as Reddit is on to me, because I've been getting some pretty heavy static on Reddit for some of my opinions, and I'd rather hear it from people that are actually watching what I'm doing, giving me an honest critique, as opposed to some armchair athlete on Reddit that's saying that what I'm doing is crap. So I appreciate my viewers. We're at like 73 now followers. So on Twitch, I thank you very much. I do, because Twitch only holds on to these recordings for about a week, I do transfer them over to my YouTube channel, and I'll post that link up. Then I'll let you go have the rest of your day. So we did a little bit of Shorinji Kempo. We did some sequences of people punching at you and working off of that opening. And then I did Korean martial arts form. I was kind of feeling a little bit depressed, so I wasn't sure if I was going to stream today, but I did stream, so I hope you find it worthy of your time. I hope you learned something every time you come to my channel. I try and give content. I mean, I'm going outside of my wheelhouse doing things like short spear and shield and Shorinji Kempo, other arts that I haven't actually actively practiced with an instructor. So you can see that I'm learning too. It's not just, you never stop learning actually. Unless mentally you just say, I know everything, and then you're not a very complete martial artist if you think you know everything. So here's the link to my YouTube channel where I archive some streams. And let me see if there's someone we can raid. Go on to the old Twitcheroo and see if there's anyone to raid. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for joining. So yeah, just as a correction, that block isn't like this. It's like, it's the flat of the hand, not the knife hand. Stylistic difference there. I can't really collaborate with anybody because no one else is doing the same thing that I'm doing. But we'll see. Let's try and find someone who's also doing health and fitness. And I'll keep up with my physio so I can continue doing active streams. Otherwise, I'll just have to do a bunch of gaming streams. And those aren't quite popular with you, my viewers. So let's go find someone to raid. I might get back into yoga. I've kind of fallen out of love with yoga. Everywhere you go, there's a yoga teacher, and I don't know if the quality of teacher training is where it should be. Ubisoft partner kick. Oh, okay. Oh, well. There's a bunch of weightlifting and some running. Strongman. Something in German. Scuff workout. Kicks, so I don't know if they're talking about shoes or if they're talking about, not quite sure on that one. Okay, well, get some more kickboxing, so we'll go to the holder heck. And you can continue if you want to do more punching and kicking with him. I think a couple of years ago I was following him fairly regularly, and then I just got disappointed with Twitch and got off of things. Here we go. Oop. No space. Raid settings do not allow you to raid at this time. Wells then. See, like, You never saw that thing like 4 years ago where people are like stopping you from raiding? But I guess whatever floats their boat. We'll go to Serotoninsk or Tonin X9. Serotonin. Oh, I get it. Serotonin. Only it's serotonin. We'll go raid her. Serotonin X9. And if that raid doesn't work, then I'm just going to shut down my stream. Yep. Raid settings, John Lyle. Okay. We'll see everybody. 2 people I've tried to raid, and I don't know how that builds community, but we'll see you again, everybody. Thanks a lot for